Hi, and welcome to today's Ask Pastor Steve. Today's question is, does God's existence depend on us? This is actually a theme in a lot of science fiction literature and fantasy literature, stories, television shows, novels, comic books. The idea that somehow our belief empowers God, and if enough people here stop believing in God, then God loses his power and eventually dies. Now, I don't know where this question came from. It was given to me anonymously, so I don't know what television shows or movies or books this person has been reading. But I can remember an old episode of Star Trek, one of the old classic Star Treks, where they met the Greek god Apollo. And he said that because humans did not believe in the Greek gods anymore, they faded away and died. And I've seen that repeated again and again and again in that type of literature. It is not true that God's existence depends on us. Rather, it's totally the opposite. Our existence depends on God. God is the one who created the entire universe. The New Testament says that in Jesus the whole universe holds together. So if God decided that he was done with us, we would vanish. But our belief or unbelief doesn't do anything to God. God was here long before any of us were. Now, it is true that if a lot of people stop believing in God, that God's influence in a society diminishes. For instance, no one really worships the Norse deities anymore, Odin or Thor, although I heard there was some cults in Norway that do that, but most people don't. We don't believe in them anymore. They don't really influence our society anymore. There are some societies where people have abandoned belief in the true God, and the gospel doesn't have much influence in that society at all. But that doesn't mean that God's power is diminished, that if God wanted to send a revival to that land, that he couldn't because, well, people there just don't believe, so I don't have any power in that land. The God of the Bible is the God who rules over all of the earth and all of the other false gods. So he is the one who is always there, whose existence doesn't depend on us. Now, this is actually good news for us, because it means that when God chooses to love us, he's doing it quite freely. He doesn't have to love us. It's not, well, I better get Pastor Steve to keep believing in me, because if he doesn't, my power's going to go away. I better get the people at American Reformed Church and in the American Reformed Youth Group to keep believing in me, because, boy, I need their faith to keep going. Their faith gives me energy. God doesn't need us at all. Not at all. But he says, I still choose to love you. I still choose to walk with you. I still choose to be with you. I still choose to have you as my people. And that's amazing. That's it for today, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.